What did ancient humans do when they weren't hunting? Right now, somewhere in your mind, ancient humans probably look busy, always moving, always searching, always trying not to die. You imagine constant danger, constant hunger, a life where every waking hour was spent chasing food. But what if that's completely wrong? What if the biggest misunderstanding about prehistoric life isn't how hard people worked, but how much they didn't? For most people today, free time begins after work. For most of human history, work happened inside free time. For roughly 300,000 years, your ancestors did not wake up into schedules. They did not clock in. They did not optimize. And they certainly did not hunt all day. So what exactly were they doing? Let's start with a strange archaeological problem. Because when scientists excavate ancient campsites, they keep finding things that shouldn't exist if survival consumed every hour. Decoration, music, games, burials, paint, objects that required patience. Objects that served no immediate practical purpose. Objects that only make sense if people had something modern humans constantly complain they don't have. Time. In 1963, anthropologist Richard Lee began studying the Juhansi people of southern Africa. Not because they are prehistoric, they aren't, but because hunter-gatherer societies can sometimes help researchers understand broad patterns of life before agriculture. Lee found that adults often spent surprisingly limited time directly obtaining food. The exact numbers vary across seasons and environments, but the broader pattern appeared repeatedly in ethnographic studies. Survival did not occupy every waking hour. And once food was secure, people stopped. That sounds obvious, but modern humans don't stop. Ancient humans often did. Imagine a day 40,000 years ago. The hunt ended hours ago. The animal has already been processed. Meat is drying. Children are fed. No emails, no deadlines, no concept that your value comes from visible productivity. So what happens now? First, maintenance. Archaeologists sometimes call this hidden labor. Stone tools don't stay sharp. Spear points break. Cordage phrase. Animal hides must be scraped and softened. Baskets must be rewoven. Firewood collected. Containers repaired. But here's the important distinction. This wasn't factory work. It wasn't repetitive labor under external pressure. Many traditional tool-making activities are deeply social. People talk while working, teach children, tell stories, watch others. Skill itself becomes entertainment. Researchers studying traditional craft cultures have repeatedly noticed something unusual. People rarely separate work from life. Making things is life. Then there was movement, not exercise, not training. Movement because being still all day would make no sense. People wandered, visited nearby camps, explored, tracked animals they weren't planning to kill, collected unusual stones, observed seasons. Ancient humans knew landscapes the way modern people know apps. Every hill had memory, every tree had meaning. And then there was play. This part surprises people. Play is not a luxury. Biologists increasingly think play is one of the most important human behaviors. Children obviously played, but adults did too. Across many traditional societies, researchers documented wrestling, running games, imitation contests, dancing, joking rituals, throwing games, singing competitions. Play trains social intelligence. Play trains cooperation. Play trains creativity. The human brain didn't evolve to work. It evolved to interact. And nowhere is this more visible than art. Around 100,000 years ago, humans in Africa were already engraving abstract patterns onto stone. Not instructions, not maps, patterns. By around 75,000 years ago, archaeologists found shell beads intentionally modified for decoration. Later came cave paintings, animal carvings, pigments, musical instruments. Someone had to sit there, mix colors, practice lines, repeat shapes, teach techniques. Art is evidence. Not evidence that life was easy. Evidence that life included enough stability for imagination. Then something else happened. People talked a lot. Anthropologists studying hunter-gatherer communities repeatedly observed that conversation occupies enormous amounts of daily life. Not meetings, not productivity updates, stories, teasing, arguments, memories, questions, who did what, who shared, who didn't. Human society runs on information. Long before writing, conversation was infrastructure. If someone knew where rare water appeared after rain, that mattered. If someone remembered which plants made people sick, that mattered. If someone could make others laugh, that mattered too. Reputation was survival. Knowledge was survival. Relationships were survival. And eventually, people rested. This may be the hardest part for modern people to imagine. They sat, not because they were exhausted, not because they earned it. They sat because there was nothing urgent to do. People watched smoke, looked at clouds, listened, daydreamed. Modern neuroscience increasingly treats mind-wandering not as wasted time, but as essential for memory, imagination, and identity. Some of humanity's most important thinking may have happened while doing apparently nothing. And then evening came. Fire became brighter. Voices became slower. Children moved closer. Someone started telling a story. Maybe one everyone already knew. Maybe one completely invented. Because hunting fed bodies, but stories fed groups. Stories stored knowledge, created identity, taught danger, created gods, created ancestors, created futures. And tomorrow, if food was still there, they might not hunt again. That's the part that feels impossible. Not because ancient humans had easy lives. They didn't. Injury, weather, disease, loss, all of those were real. But when survival was handled, they did something modern humans often struggle to justify. They lived. For most of human history, humans were not machines that occasionally rested. They were people who occasionally worked. And somewhere between then and now, those two ideas switched places.